Welcome to the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and in today's project video, we're going to be taking this huge piece of project material and turning it into a decorative guitar project. Let's get started. We'll check out the machine, the material, before jumping into the computer to check out today's graphic. Today I'm using the B1 laser platform by Longer. I say platform because this machine is very configurable. As we can see, I have the extension on here because I'm using this machine because it is the largest laser diode machine that I have in the studio. The other reason is this 40-watt laser module is going to make today's project very short, so we won't have to wait too long before it's completed. The other reason why I'm using this machine is because the guide rollers use a polymer wheel that rides on this aluminum V-track, which is virtually maintenance-free. So I spend more time making projects and videos like this and less time doing maintenance on the machine. The material is going to be this 1/4-inch high-quality plywood called Tiger Ply. I got this over at the local home improvement store called Menards. That's found throughout the area within the Midwest United States. And the best thing about this material is it's super high quality. There's no inclusions on the front or the back side and none within the ply layers itself, meaning there's no glue layers to try and cut through, making it a great candidate for projects just like today's guitar project. Let's dive into the computer and check out today's graphic. I'll also be sharing where I found today's graphic so you can find graphics for your very own projects. And check this out, I've got this really cool looking guitar. We're going to see that it's made up of 2 different layers. This dark blue, that is going to be a line engraving, and I've got my speed and power settings right here. And then I also did an outline of the graphic using the outline tool within Lightburn software. That is going to be cutting out today's project, and here's the settings for that. So where did I find today's project graphics? Well, I went over to, let me scroll wheel in, freepatternsarea.com. While I'd love to directly share with you this file here, I can't do that. That is one of the things I can't do by using the files from this website, but I can direct you to where you get these files, and of course they are all free. This file is all one file, and it's all one great big SVG file, which means no matter how small or huge I make this project, I retain all of the rich detail within the SVG file system. I'll get the screen set up here again. So one of the things that I did when I picked out the settings for the line engraving and the cutting is I just went off of my intuition and experience of using quality machines like this one. However, I don't have these directly dialed in, and certainly I know I can go over to Laser Tools and do a materials test for both the line engraving and the cut layer. That takes extra time, and I have things to do and you have things to do. So instead, what I'm going to do is highlight my main project and Control D to duplicate that. And drag one of them off to the side. I'm going to make it really small so that it fits up in this spot right here. And then this way I can highlight my main project that I'm going to do. I'm just going to move that off to the side. And now I can do a test line engraving and cutout just on this little piece that is only going to take about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is far less time of doing a full materials test. Pretty easy setup. I'll get the material loaded into the machine, the focus set, I'll get some safety glasses on, the exhaust system set up, and we'll do this first little mini test engraving. Well, that was a really great quick test. I learned a couple of things. First of all, the line engraving for the guitar itself, that's perfect. Nothing needs to change. The other thing is the cut line. I'm going to have to slow the speed down, and I'm going to add another pass for a total of 2. I'm going to run that quick test off camera, and we'll be back when I place the main graphic back over the work area of the machine to get the main project started. After a minor adjustment to the cut settings, the project cut out perfectly, and best of all, the nice line engraving is nice, clean, and crisp. And this is my preferred method for dialing in my settings, is running a smaller version of the project, because now I've got this little mini showpiece to share with friends and family. We'll head back into the computer and move the larger projects and get started on the huge guitar. Getting this set up for the final project is going to be pretty easy. I'm going to go back over to Cuts and Layers and turn on my line engraving that I had turned off to do the extra cut steps for that sample test piece. I'm going to grab our little mini one and move it off to the side. I'm going to grab the larger one here, and a nice little shortcut is I can press the letter P on the keyboard, and that will perfectly center my project within the work area of the machine. Here, I'm all set. I can put my safety glasses back on, get the exhaust system turned on, which is mainly just me chasing the laser head around with an exhaust hose, and well, I can hit the start button so you can sit back, relax, and watch a couple segments of this nice guitar project being made. The line engraving and cutout is all complete, and it took far less time than I was expecting. The smaller sample project for my settings took twice as long, and I think that was due to all the small little intricate moves the laser head had to do. But on this larger project, it only went over by a couple of minutes, so this entire project so far has taken under 20 minutes. Let's zoom in and check out some of the detail. So far, I've only looked at this. I haven't tried to remove it, so we're gonna see if I'm true to my word that this material has no glue voids in it, and it just pops right out. And check that out. A perfect, nice cutout, nothing hung up anywhere all the way around our project. Actually, I gotta back up even more to get this whole thing in the view. I'm going to wrap this project off by giving it the perfect finish, and I can't think of anything better than a nice coat of some Danish oil. I'll get the surface cleaned and prepped before the application, and we'll be back in just a second to see the final finished project. I let the project dry for a little bit, and that was also a great opportunity for me to take a nice and much overdue lunch break. And this Danish oil really gets this wood grain to pop, and it gets a nice contrast with that deep, nice, rich line engraving. I also applied some of that Danish oil on the edge here, so there wasn't a whole lot of charring that would come off on my hand, but now with that wood finish on there, absolutely none of it comes off. I finished the front as we saw and the back side, and this is all set. Using a line engraving instead of just a regular full engraving really took a lot of time off of this project. So this large piece, once again, took a little under 20 minutes to make. If I did this as an engraving, it would probably be up over an hour. So it is possible to make really big projects without spending a lot of time. So what would I change for next time? What would be some steps that I won't want to repeat? I think the biggest one is the smoke that the machine produces, this being a 40-watt laser module. When it starts cutting materials, it produces a lot of smoke because it's cutting through so quickly. I don't have an enclosure for this machine, and that's something that I wish I had. You didn't see it on camera, but when this was cutting out, I actually had my exhaust hose, and I'm following around the laser module and the edge of the Honeycomb, trying to suck all of the smoke and exhaust it out of the studio here so I don't get literally smoked out. I think that's the top thing on the list. The other thing, and it's more of like the machine itself, is it's a great construction, but the belts that move the laser head from this end to this end, they're directly underneath these beams right here. And when I move this machine around, you can guess where I pick the machine up on these beams. When I grab those belts and pinch them down, it adds extra tension to those belts, and it tends to be really hard on the tension pulleys on this end of the machine and the drive pulleys on the back side of the machine. I wish those belts were fully encapsulated inside of the frame member. However, that would make it more difficult for maintenance and putting the machine together. So I guess it's one of those things of pick your poison, but that's how the machine is set up. The rest of the machine is rock solid, all metal construction, no complaints on any of that. Overall, there's really not too many things that I would really change on this project. It'd be fun to try pre-staining the wood and then doing the line engraving or adding a splash of color. And if I've got a large format CO2 laser machine, this would look really neat out of a large piece of acrylic. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's project. Let me know down below by leaving a comment. And if you like this video, show it some love by giving it a like or subscribing to the channel. Not only is it a great way to help this channel grow, it's an awesome way to connect content like this with other great viewers just like you. And until we meet again in the next video, I'm Greg from the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share.